Hey guys, you're watching the one and only. My name is AJ. Welcome to This War of Mine, a sick game that I know you guys are gonna love. I went into work one day and my boss said, AJ, I found this really cool game. It's like a 2D platformer survival game with an awesome art style. That completely confused me and I wasn't really that interested. But then he started talking to me about it and he was like, you've got to upgrade this and you've got to craft this and you've got to try and survive, and it's all stealthy and you've got to be really careful and it makes your nerves go. And I was getting a little bit more interested. I got it on Steam when it was on sale. I don't know how much it is now, but however much it is, it's totally worth it. It's a little indie game, and boy, are you guys going to have a lot of fun with it, either watching it or playing it for yourself. It's very difficult though. It's not an easy game, and every single move that you make needs to be for a reason. If you mess up, you're going to be in trouble very, very quickly. You start off with these three people: Pavel, Bruno, and Marco. I've survived 24 days with them. That was the best that I survived, and winter was coming then, and winter became very, very hard. I'm going to try and explain this first episode. We're going to use these because they're the first people. I'm going to try and explain this as if none of you have ever heard or played it before, which I don't think many of you would have. So this episode is going to be a little bit slower, but I need to actually work quite quickly because there's basically like a time limit on everything. So this is our house. Our house is the world that you spawn in and the house that you start in are random. So this will be different to the last house that I started in. I think there's either 2 or 3 different houses that you have. And you start with 3 people. Your people can and most likely will die throughout your story, you know, your war that's been going on. The war itself has no real story to it. It's up to you. We could say that it was a nuclear war. We could say that it was just a territorial war. It's just a war is going on. The world is in ruin and our job is just to survive. We can survive any way that we want, really. However, we need to really try to stick to being good, because if we go bad and we start stealing stuff from people or we start killing innocent civilians, it's going to make our people sad, because our 3 people here are good guys. Before the war, they've all had really good jobs and stuff. It makes them sad. If they become sad, they don't want to do anything. It gets their morale down. Eventually they get broken and you can't even control them. They get that sad. They get so depressed. You can read this if you like. I don't need to though. Right, I'm going to pause the game for a minute, because if the timer gets to a certain point in the day, it automatically becomes night time, and whatever we were doing sort of pauses. So we need to be really, really quick on what we need to do. This house we've just come across. Our 3 people have just stumbled across this house, and on our first day we're going to want to raid as much as we can. Some of the doors are going to be locked, so we're going to need to have either lockpicks or a crowbar to get into them. If we're really lucky, we might find some in the house. If not, we'll have to wait until we've got enough resources to be able to craft those things like Minecraft. That's where the sort of crafting stuff comes into it. So let's get on with it all. First, we'll just check our guys. Pavel is already slightly sick, Bruno is fine, and Marco is slightly wounded. Let's get you to search that while we're up here. The hands means that we can search. You can see if you can get through there. That might be a locked door though. We got 10 scrap out of here, 6 wood, and an electronic part out of it. We'll see if this door is locked. While you're doing that, you can go and search this one. Yeah, so that's locked. We need a lockpick or a crowbar to get into that door. That's fair enough. Out of this little bit, we have a geared part. These are quite rare parts. Water we're going to need for food. That's extremely important to get hold of. And electronic parts. While you're here, you can also search that one because you're right next to it. And we got more parts and more gears. You can head downstairs and search that one. While you're upstairs, you can go over and search that. While they're doing this, this is our kitchen here. We've got how much food we've got: canned food, alcohol, and vegetables. Vegetables can be used to upgrade our food to better food. We really want that to be able to sort of fulfill ourselves for longer. We can make more meals out of less components if we have those vegetables. A lockpick, amazing. More scrap. That's pretty lucky to find a lockpick straight out the bat here. Not the best start that I've ever found in my life. Oh, food. We can get diamonds, which are really great for trading, like Minecraft, in a way. So, yeah, we really want to have a good start here. Most of the good stuff is locked behind doors, though, obviously. This means that we can actually, like, force the door open just by pulling it. It just makes a noise, takes a little bit of time, but eventually we'll get into it. So you get in there. You can then search this. This little figure means that it's locked, but we can use a lockpick to get into it. Oh, another lockpick. Look at that. Oh, this is herbs. We can use this eventually to make medication or cigarettes. Another lockpick. And some stuff here. This isn't a bad start. This is going to take a while to get through because we've only digging with our hands. Eventually we'll be able to make a shovel to be able to dig through these a lot quicker. So while he's doing that, we might as well get this guy to go and search this way. Again, this door might be locked. We'll have to go and see. Let's go upstairs and you can start clearing out this little pile of rubble. It's going to take a while to get through. We might not be able to search the house on day 1. We might not be able to search the house on day 2. We've only got, is it 2 lockpicks at the moment? This is our inventory of all of our stuff at the moment. We've got 2 lockpicks. So I might spend a lockpick. Oh, you did get through there, so you can start digging that out as well. We could definitely use 1 lockpick to get into this one. That would be a good idea. And then we'll use the other lockpick to get into this one, I think. Oh, where are you going? Hang on, where are you going? I didn't click nothing. Keep digging that up. We'll use the other lockpick to get into this one. It's going to take a while because he's got to get through this rubble and then through this rubble. Okay, so while they're going through this, we can talk about our house a little bit more. This right here is our crafting bench. We can click the arrow to upgrade our crafting bench. We need to have someone to walk over to it for me to show you, but while they're digging stuff, I don't want to bring them over. But it'll cost a certain amount of resources for us to upgrade our crafting bench. And if we do that, we can then craft more things. Inside our crafting bench, on level 1, which our crafting bench is at the moment, we can make beds, which we really want to do before the night is up, before the day is up. And we really want to make a metals workbench relatively soon. Where are you going? Go and open that up. A metals workbench to make weapons and shovels and crowbars, knives, saws, things like that. So there's sort of our important ones that we want to do now. What do we find in here? A bandage. Excellent. That's something that we really want to be able to heal our guys. At the moment, they're only slightly wounded and slightly sick. Bandages will heal slightly wounded people, and or bandages will heal wounded people. Medication will heal sick people. So we've got now 1 bandage, which is in here. Our bandage. These are like they look like an egg cup, but they're like herbs. Sometimes they work, sometimes they don't, but they can basically heal pretty much anything. But they're really good for trading, so when I find them, I usually just keep them for trading. Okay, so I'm just going to go to this workbench and show you our workbench here. So we've got a bed. A chair is useless, really. I don't really want that. A simple heater we won't need now, but we will need when we get, if we survive until winter. Radio is really good to keep morale up. It'll also tell us some information that's going on in the area, things like what's going up and down in the trades, things to be wary of. A crude stove we will need to be able to cook our food. That's probably one of the most important things. Moonshine still we can use to make alcohol, which will not only keep morale up, but is also great for trading. I've never really gone into that. I've only played this game like played through this game a few times before I want to do a series on it, just so I could get the hang of the game. But maybe we'll look into that. That's the metal workshop that we'll need to create weapons and stuff with. Rainwater collector is something that's actually quite important and useful because it can collect water just from outside. But we do need filters for it, which are these, in order to collect the water with. And then this is fuel. We don't need to worry about that. So we should probably make a stove first to be able to cook our food. And I think we should probably put that up in the kitchen here. Can I put it over a little bit? Nope. Place there. So obviously in the kitchen makes a lot of sense. The other lockpick we were going to use... Oh, you can start digging through that. The other lockpick we were going to use for here, we might as well use it on things that we can access straight away. If we find a lockpick in there, then amazing. We'll be able to get into that door and start cleaning that out as well. So he's building that. While you're building that, you might as well come down here and build our first bed. We can double click to make him run so he goes a little bit quicker. We're only going to make 1 bed to begin with. We're going to set 2 people to go to sleep tonight, but one of them will just have to sleep on the floor. So a bed. Make the bed. We'll put the bedroom in here. We could have 1 bed there and 1 bed there for the minute. Like eventually we'll have another bed there. So yeah, place. You can start doing that. So Now that we have our cooker, I can show you the sort of GUI here for our stove. To make one meal, one single meal, we'll need 5 water, 1 piece of food, and 2 pieces of fuel. To make fuel, we can either use scrap, which is bad, it's really expensive, wood, which is like the best material to make it out of because it's sort of the cheapest, or books. Books can be used for fuel, or they can be used for reading or trading. If you read them, they'll automatically read them, you don't tell them to, but it'll keep their morale up. If we want to make 2 cooked food, it only takes 1 piece of meat, or morsel I think they're called in here, but we do need 1 vegetable. 1 vegetable and 1 meat will make 2 meals. It only uses 6 water as opposed to 5 to make 1 meal as well, which is amazing, and still only makes 2, or still only uses 2 fuel. That's really what we want to make, but these vegetables are really rare, really hard to come across, so we'll be really lucky if we do. So he'll make the bed there. You're still digging through that. There's nothing really more that I can make at the moment, so we're just going to let him dig through this hole. We'll search this cabinet, and then we'll start on our first scavenge at night time, where the real meat of the game is, the real heart of the game is, and boy, are we going to have to be really careful with this. None of them are tired, right? No, none of them are tired, so we should all be good. Having a bandage straight off the bat like that is really nice. Oh, you should probably open up that door now to get in there. Go on, pull it open, boy. Get it there. So it's going to take you a couple of episodes to probably sort of pick up everything that we're doing and why we're doing certain things. Why I'll be scavenging, you know, specific items and leaving others. But I'll show you a little bit of that in a moment. Literally, anytime now. So we'll get into here. What do we get in our last one? Something good. Come on, something good. Ah, there we go. Medications. Excellent. Some herbs. And 3... What was that? 3 books. 3 books is pretty good. So, that's it for the night. We can't do anything more in here. We might as well end day and start our first scavenge. So, this shows how much inventory space the people have. Our skilled scavenger has 15. He's the guy that we want to have scavenging as often as possible because obviously he has more inventory space. We can bring more stuff back. Pavel's a fast runner. Quite useful if we're getting into trouble maybe and he's out there. But because he's slightly sick, we're going to get him to sleep in the bed tonight. Bruno is a good cook. We're not going to get raided tonight, so we could make him sleep normally, just on the floor. However, tomorrow he will wake up with a stiff back because he slept on the floor. He slept uncomfortably. But we'll let him do that. Our skilled scavenger is slightly wounded. We'll get him recovering tomorrow. It should be good. It should be fine. 3 places that we can go. The looted gas station is our closest place to our shelter. This was once this was one of the very first places people looted while fleeing from the city. There's been a few hour-long ceasefire intended to clean the whole area from civilians, but it was broken. Many people died, though neither side claims responsibility to this day, despite heavy shelling of the whole district. The station is in surprisingly decent shape, and it may have been looted, but it might still be worth checking out. Some food will be there, huge amounts of materials, some meds, huge amounts of weapons, lots of parts. Quiet house. It's a quiet little housing estate that remains almost untouched. It's a calm area of little houses with porches and gardens. Most of the houses are still inhabited. People are trying to lead normal lives there. We've got nothing to look for there unless we're willing to steal. Don't really want to go there. And the church. St. Mary's Church. St. Mary's Church is still a place of meetings for the whole local community. Priest Oleg is known for his charitable work and offering refuge to the poor. He might have something to give away or trade. The vestry behind the church is devastated and abandoned. We could find some useful materials there. Some food, huge amounts of materials, lots of meds, lots of parts, possible trade, but caution advised. Caution advised usually means that we can sort of enter areas, but it's sort of trespassing and they might get a little bit annoyed. We're going to start off with the looted gas station. It's a safe place to go. We should be fine. We've got nothing to take with us. Normally, if we had like a shovel or a crowbar, then we would take that kind of stuff to be able to get into certain areas. So, Let's start scavenging. What can we find here? Come on, we need some good things. We're going to take the parts. We're going to leave any components and wood for now. We'll be sort of getting those from trades later on in the game. A broken toy for the moment I might as well take. I can trade it, but they are usually a useless item. We'll leave those there. We can always fill our inventory up on the way back with scrap and wood if we don't come across enough like decent stuff. But the scrap and the wood we really want to get from trading. It'll be a lot easier. We want to save this inventory space for good stuff. What's in the car boot? We've got ourselves some homegrown tobacco, 3 roll-up cigarettes. These will automatically be smoked by our 3 people if they are a smoker. Sometimes they are, sometimes they aren't. It's sort of a little bit random, I think. But they can also be used for trading. Fertilizer can be used to grow our own stuff later on in the game. I've never really done it, to be honest. Weapons parts, very useful. Electric parts, very useful. And we'll take the book as well. Is Marco a smoker? Marco is not a smoker. This is his bio. You can pause and read that if you want. That'll get updated like every day. They'll all write their own little bio. Okay, to get through here, we're going to need to dig through. It would be a lot quicker if we had a shovel, but we don't have the materials to have a shovel at the moment, so we're just going to have to wait. I wonder if we can get on here. Or up there. Yeah, there's a ladder to get up there. You know what? We might be able to jump over there. I don't know. So a lot of these places I've actually never been to before. On all the playthroughs that you go through, everything's a little bit random and everything's a little bit different. For example, St. Mary's Church that we read about just a minute ago. You might or you might not get Mary's Church on your playthrough. But if you do, you might not get the same Mary's Church that I have on this one. You might have it where Priest Oleg has already died. Our one on our playthrough here, he's still alive. But you might get one where he's died. The military came in and raided it and killed him. Or he died of unknown circumstances or something like that. So there's a lot of sort of randomness in the game. And obviously everything that you get from loot is all random. There's nothing really set as such. So a playthrough can really be determined on a good or bad start sometimes. I've had a few really bad starts and I haven't really been able to find anything. And then I've had some great starts that in my own starting house I've found like 5 lockpicks, diamonds to be able to trade with loads of materials. It's just sort of really up to you. Oh, finish it off. Go on, there we go. So we need to make sure that we're out of here before daylight comes. Otherwise, he gets like abandoned, stuck here for the day. He can't travel in the daytime because it's too dangerous. Coffee is like okay for trading and can be really good for trading later on. It can also be used to make coffee with, obviously. Oh man, I tell you what, already this has been a good raid. Pretty good raid already. It could get better, but it's pretty good at the moment. In here we have... Oh, see that? That means something's there. Did you see that? Sugar cubes. This is used to make moonshine with, but usually I just trade it. Yeah, that is like an enemy, or not an enemy, but something that could be around there. So we need to make sure that we watch that because it could be someone with a gun. There is a note under the table, not actually hidden, but it could easily be missed. From the style of handwriting, you can tell it was written by a woman in a hurry. Milos, I'm sorry, I'm really sorry, I cannot wait here any longer. I hid some jewelry inside the books. Look for them in the basement, inside carton boxes behind the barred door. Use it, stay alive, please. God bless you, I'm sorry. So these little notes are those little magnifying glass icons that you saw. Sometimes they're nothing, sometimes they just add a little bit of story as such, but sometimes like this one, they'll reveal where treasure is located. Very useful. Oh, there's 2 things there. It looks like 2. Okay, bandage. Excellent. Herbal meds are those little egg things that I always think they are. And another toy. So, we can look through this door. Before we go through it, we can keep really stealthy and look through. Okay, they are both mice. Or rats. Nothing to worry about. Nothing we need to be concerned about. It's not a person, but it's always a good idea to always look through the door first. Okay, so here, this is a metal grate. I cannot get in there without a saw. Saws are very expensive to make, and they're only one-time uses, like the lockpicks. Sometimes they're worthwhile, sometimes they're not. Shell casings can eventually be made to make bullets, obviously. For the moment, I'm going to leave it, though. I don't want them. I haven't got a gun. I can always come back here. I'll remember that they're there. But yeah, so I can't get through here, but that's going to be where the good stuff is for sure. 5 food? Are you kidding me? What a start. Herbs. More sugar cubes. They only stack in 10, unfortunately. Water, extremely important. I'm going to put back the broken toys for the water. I want all the water. I'll even take these 2. What can I drop for those 2? Coffee beans. I'll take those. What else can I drop? Herbs. They're pretty good for trading. Oh my god, this is a great start. Homegrown tobacco. I'd rather have the sugar cubes. I think they're worth a little bit better on trading. Okay. Our inventory is like packed already, and we've still got upstairs to do. We'll be coming back here tomorrow for sure, but we'll just see if maybe there's some idea on items that we might want to bring tomorrow, if we can craft them. Obviously I'm never going to be able to craft a saw in one day. I haven't got the materials for that. Let's just check through this and see if there's anything out the back here. There's not. See how it just becomes a little bit clearer where your eyes are seen? Very, very cool way of doing. I love that way. Like, I can't see upstairs. I can sort of see a blurriness up there, but I can't exactly see what's up there. Some more gears. And that's another way out. Okay, let's go upstairs then. Look at that. How cool is that? Oh, another magnifying glass. Let's just check over here first. This is probably just a bit of story. Nothing. I can't see there being 2 treasure notes in here. I'll take electric power. Oh, I can't. I really want that. Oh, it's sorry. I've already got 4 of them. You know what? I might put the book back and take that. I think the electric pack could be a little bit more important than the book. I've already got some at home for reading or burning if need be. This poor man had been caught by the shelling. What was he doing here? Oh, yeah, it's a dead guy there. Look. He's probably raiding like I am. Anything good in here? Just wood. I'm going to leave that. Oh, let's look through the door before we open it. Just to make sure, because there might not be, you know, the red thing that we saw, these, which are those rats. There might not be a red thing flashing in here, but there might be a person. And that person might be asleep, therefore not making any noise, which is why you always want to look through the doors first. Because if you burst through there and there's a guy in here and he's aggressive, you're going to have a problem. Oh, I'd really like that gear too. Herbs. You know, I might take the herbs back and take the gears instead. Yeah. I put one of the gears back, which is why it said that there's 2 there. We'll have a quick check up on the roof. There is something over here. We can double click to make him run, because obviously there's no one about. Another gear. Excellent. What a great night. What a great first raid. You couldn't really ask for anything better than that. Just going to run to the exit, let him go there by himself. We'll definitely be coming back here tomorrow and probably just pick up the rest of the stuff, or some more of the stuff that was laying about. If we can get a saw blade, I'd love to get in there, because we know that there's jewelry down there. We found that out of the what do you call it, note that we found. I bought the bandages. Now let's see that to that wound. Look at all the stuff we bought back. Absolutely amazing. Because it was day 1, we didn't get raided either, which is lovely. So let's probably you know what, we can keep going. It's only first step, so we can keep going for a little bit longer. So they're hungry, slightly wounded and tired is Marco, which we took last night. Obviously he's going to be tired. Bruno slept poorly, like we knew he would, because he didn't sleep in a bed and he's hungry. And Pavel is hungry and slightly sick, but he's recovering because he's in a bed. Let's get Bruno, because he's a good cook, to start cooking. We'll get Marco to come down and go and sleep in this bed, because he's tired. He's been up all night. So we'll get you to sleep in the bed. And we're going to need some fuel first. We'll make 6 for the minute. 6 fuel before we can actually start cooking the food. And is there anything that we can make here that's going to be useful? Could make a weapons workbench to get a crowbar as soon as possible. It's probably a good idea. We're going to get some wood and stuff tonight anyway. Yeah, let's do that. So we'll get a weapons workbench down here, or metal workbench. Not, I always call it a weapons workbench because most of the time there's weapons in it. You'll be making weapons out of it. Okay, so we need to start now to be careful on being raided. I think for the first night, or maybe even 2, you're not going to get raided, but after that you can be, so you're going to have to keep someone on guard. If you've got weapons, they're more likely to keep people back. We can also start patching up these holes that we've got in our house if we've got the resources spare. The more it's patched up, the less likely people are going to be able to get in and start stealing your stuff. Okay, let's make some food. How many can I make? Oh, I can make all 6. Absolutely amazing. If you cook your food, the cooked food cannot be raided. So you always want to try and keep all of your food cooked at all times. I am not going to use bandages on my slightly wounded and slightly sick guy. Or bandages on slightly wounded guy and then pills on the slightly sick guy. If they get actually wounded or severely wounded or sick or severely sick, then I will. But when they're slightly sick or slightly wounded, they'll usually recover, especially by sleeping. They'll recover a little bit quicker. So I'm not going to bother with that. You can start heading up here because you're going to have something to eat. You can have something to eat seeing as though you cooked it. You can have something to eat. You can start going over here somewhere. And you're hungry as well, but I'd rather let you sleep tonight. We'll get you something to eat tomorrow. So, that's going to do it for this episode, guys. If you enjoyed it, hit that like button. If you haven't already, then feel free to subscribe. Next episode, we'll be continuing on. If you did enjoy it, though, please do hit that like button. It is a new series. It does let me know that you do enjoy it and you want the series to continue. I really love this game. This game gets better and better the further you get into it, but also a lot harder. This is really easy at the moment. It's the beginning. Not a lot is happening because it's like Minecraft. You know, your first 2 days of Minecraft are just sort of resource gathering. Nothing much is going on. You're being very careful. But as your resources start to improve and you start to get more materials, you start to take a few more risks to get better rewards. Okay? So stay tuned. See you guys in the next episode.